to a new episode of Journey of a Christian Writer. My name is Emma Bull. I'm a Christian and women's fiction author, and in this episode I'm going to go over 5 common story characters in fiction. So, characters can go under a number of different categories, as I mentioned in my previous video of 9 generic character types. But there are 5 specific story characters that are quite common within fiction, and these include heroes or heroines, villains or bad guys, sidekicks or confidants, love or romantic interests, and viewpoint characters. The first that I'm going to go over are heroes and heroines. Heroes and heroines are characters that are known for saving the day or resolving some type of situation within a story. As we know, heroes are typically male characters and heroines are typically female characters. Heroes are also called protagonists in some cases, but heroes and protagonists are also interchangeable terms, and for good reasons. This is because protagonists are always main characters, but that's not necessarily the case for heroes or heroines. There are some cases where the hero in the story is not an actual protagonist or a main character. One example of this is the woodsman in the children's story Little Red Riding Hood, who helps to rescue Little Red Riding Hood in the story from the wolf in that children's story. But other examples of heroes and heroines, of course, are characters that are superheroes that have superpowers, such as Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Parr family in the Pixar film The Incredibles. The next characters that I'm going to go over are villains or bad guys. These characters are characters that attempt to prevent the protagonists or heroes from reaching their goals. Villains or bad guys are also known for being the antagonists, but just as heroes and protagonists, villains and antagonists are also used interchangeably. This is because villains are always antagonists, but antagonists aren't always villains. In some cases, antagonists could just be characters whose goals conflict with the goals of the protagonists in the story. In some cases, antagonists can also just not even be people or animals, but circumstances or natural disasters or some type of societal notions or beliefs within the world of a story world. Some examples of villains or bad guys are the Penguin and Joker in the Batman movies, and Dr. Ivo Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog video games and movies. The next characters that I'm going to go over is sidekicks or confidants. These characters are characters that accompany the protagonists or heroes during the course of the story. These characters can also be the characters that the protagonist trusts the most within a story. Sidekicks and confidants are also typically supporting characters because of helping the protagonist to accomplish their goals or assisting them in some way through the story. Some examples of sidekick and confidant characters are Dr. Watson from The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Buzz Lightyear in the movie Toy Story, Tonto from the classic Western of The Lone Ranger, and the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz. The fourth characters that I'll be going over are love or romantic interest characters. These characters are potential lovers for the protagonist and usually show up in romance trope type of stories, such as friends to lovers or enemies to lovers, or a story of forbidden love because of some societal dilemmas within a story, such as racial tension or differences in religion or culture or something of that nature. These characters can be male or female characters as well in a story. Some examples of love or romantic interests are Juliet from Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, and Maria in the 1961 romantic drama film West Side Story. The fifth characters that I'll be going over is viewpoint characters. These characters are the narrators or point of view characters through whose eyes the story is being told. These types of characters can also alternate within a story. For example, a writer may write a chapter from one character's viewpoint or point of view, and then another chapter from another character's viewpoint or point of view. That is ultimately what I did within my debut novel, Eva's Promise, by alternating between the wife and husband characters' third-person points of view in my story. Other stories that did this is The Help by Catherine Stockick, which actually has 3 different point of view characters: Aibileen, Minnie, and Skeeter in that novel. Some viewpoint characters can also be like a godlike perspective or a third-person omniscient point of view, such as Matilda and The Lord of the Flies by William Goldberg. That is all of the 5 different common story characters within fiction. When you know these different 5 story characters, it can allow you to know how you can use them in creative ways in your own stories. That is all that I have for this video, and thank you for watching. For more detailed information on the subject of this video and other writing tips, tricks, and out-of-the-box ideas, you can visit my author website and check out my writing blog, The Brainstorm, under the Writing Blog button of my menu navigation. Just go to mlbullbooks.com and you'll see it there. I hope you enjoyed this latest video, and thank you for watching.